Welcome back, everybody, to the Hearthstone ESL Legendary Series, brought to you by Newegg.com. Thank you so much to everyone who makes this possible, including our production crew, who's been doing a good job. We're about halfway through the day, a little bit more over, actually, because we'll see whether or not we actually tackle on the last series of the day, because the top two do advance.
Yep.
But for now, we're going to go to the winners bracket finals between Weifu and Grunwave. Now, this one is cool because, once again, we get to see a clash of the East versus the West. Very quickly, the Asian region has been getting a lot better at Hearthstone. When they first started off, a lot of people made fun of them, saying like, you know what, maybe your decks are cool, but you're definitely not playing them at the best of its ability.
Yeah.
Now I feel like they've caught up a lot. There's, Weifu made some really strong plays, other than a quick flip of the Pyromancer play where he tried to Shadow Word Pain his own Pyromancer to get a sweep.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out, so
He got a little bit ahead of himself.
A little too fancy.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's got a good head on his shoulders. And he's got the gaming headset, so you can definitely tell he's trying hard for sure.
Yeah, and Grunwave just continues to impress us with his class here. I believe
His
that's
choice of no hunter is what impresses me.
I believe that's a sweater over his collar this time around instead of the jacket. So props to him for classing up our stream just a little bit. But I also, indeed, I like his deck choice as well. Not going with the hunter. His shaman deck was actually really exciting. And we'll see how this is going to be. But the first match is going to be Priest versus Warrior. So we might be in for a little bit of a long one. But Grunwave, we remember back, he was running some Inner Rages, which was a little bit of an interesting choice.
Oh, that's right.
For the Warrior.
That is right. Grunwave has a very interesting deck for sure. Well, we'll see if it pays off for him. Meanwhile, he's running that Reincarnate Shaman up against Weifu's Handlock.
Yep.
And then we have a Standard Hunter versus Handlock as well from Grunwave.
I believe
it's
it's
standard
Handlock
as well.
I think Frozen was the only person running Zoo today.
Okay.
Which is a nice change of pace because the last couple weeks we've seen mostly Zoo, and it was rare to see a Handlock. So it's cool. It's cool, Ferdinand.
Diversity is cool. This is the 21st century. We live in modern times.
Yep.
That's right. It's okay. Variety is the spice of life. Let's go ahead with game number one, Priest versus Warrior. See who can get the edge. I'm giving it to Warrior. I really like the inclusion of cards like Dr. Boom into Warrior. I'm looking at the Priest deck and seeing whether or not cards like Trogzor will pay off. Because Trogzor is so interesting to me because it's like Ysera. It's like if it ever makes an impact, if it's ever allowed to make an impact, it'll win you the game.
Yeah.
But until then, it's a lot of times like I'll never have time for this to have an impact.
Yeah. And sometimes, especially against faster decks, Trogzor can just be ignored because he doesn't have that great of stats for what he costs. And if you just play a creature that can trade with it, then that just counters it.
Right. But this matchup, you might get the time to play it.
Yeah,
you probably will get the time to play.
I think you definitely will. And a lot of times, priests rely on spells to be able to clear big creatures off the board. Sometimes they don't have the luxury of playing a big creature into Trogzor to try and counter him out. So I like the Trogzor in this one. Hopefully we'll be seeing good things. I always like to see, well, not always, but recently, because GVG just came out, I like to see people not really experimenting with new cards, but just, trying to make those new cards work. It's past experimentation now.
Sure, makes sense. A coin armor smith. Now again, this is a thing where I always just ask myself, like, was that worth it?
Yeah, I don't know, because what if he plays a Northshire Cleric? Well, I guess he has Fireworks,
which is fine. Like you play the armor smith because you value the curves. That way you can coin armor smith, war axe, and also maybe acolyted pain.
Yeah, I would never do that unless I had war axe. Because you just give him free card draw.
For sure. Because essentially, this is a very backwards way to think about it, and it's a little unfair. But what essentially Grunwave also did was coin hero power.
That's true.
And play Armor Smith.
Yeah.
And like because the damage actually didn't do anything. He healed it. So it's like
you just made his play sound a lot worse.
Well, I know, and I hate making it seem like it's like a bad play because I understand exactly what it is. For example, if this is a Death Rattle Tempo Priest and he missed his first drop, like he's playing Loot Hoarders and he's playing like other ways to build up momentum, the Armor Smith play is fine.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, that's effectively what he did. So a lot of times, like because you don't know what priest it is it forces you to make some weird decisions sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like playing like Armor Smith and Acolyte of Pain as early as possible against Priest. Even if you don't...
To collect value.
To collect value. And because you don't want to get stolen later on.
Right. So Cabal... I mean, you want to get as much mileage out of it before Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah, but at the same time, nowadays, there's a little bit of extra dynamic because Shrink Masters are in the deck. So sometimes you actually want to get those out of the way so they can't steal bigger things. Like Sledge Belchers.
Sludge Belchers.
Yeah. What else can they steal? Nothing else. I think the only thing that adds is there a 4-attack creature? No.
Cairn?
Wow. That's true story. True story there.
Yeah. Well, they might also be able to Shrink Master and then Shadow Madness and recombobulate stuff.
Yeah.
So what they do is they take Lotheb, they Shrink Master to 3-attack, Shadow Madness,
and then get it back.
Attack and recombobulate.
Yeah.
It's a very complicated play, but once you see it, you're like, oh, I get it.
Wait, so does that give them back something else? Or
No,
it just teaks it. Okay. I've actually haven't seen that interaction yet, and I've played against a lot of priests.
It happened to me twice earlier today, and I was not happy.
Okay, so since it turns it into a different
Frodan
creature,
was not pleased.
Frodan angry.
Frodan smash. Well, when you have Lotheb and 6 spells in the hand,
wow.
I guess your turn feels very weak.
Wow.
No Cabal Shadow Priest. This is definitely a test for Cabal Shadow Priest right here.
Yep.
Because you just take that Acolyte or even Armor Smith.
Which one would you take?
I'd probably take Armor Smith. I don't want to be overdrawing.
Yeah, I agree. In most situations, I'd actually pick up the Acolyte, though. Just because I want the card.
Yeah, of course.
But this is just a really weird turn. And the hand for Grunwave is actually pretty good. Because he's got a lot of ways to deal with whatever's going to be thrown out. He's got weapons, removal. He's got Shield Maiden if nothing comes out. He's got a nice pace of things going on right now.
So, now he knows no Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yep.
Fine. So now from here, I think you're okay developing something else, like play your Deathbite, smack this thing down.
Yeah, Deathbite, and oh wow, he actually sacks the Acolyte. I guess I don't know, I think I would throw the Armorsmith in there, because you'd keep the Armorsmith alive, and then you would have the option to have your Deathbite trigger on your Acolyte next turn. I don't know.
Well, I guess he's okay with this for now, since you know, he doesn't have any threat of a Cabal Shadow Priest.
Well, he just threw out his Arcanine Soul Priest, and now he just do a circle, which would be pretty good in this situation. This is about the only time you're ever going to get value out of Arcanine Circle, unless you're Arcanine Circling late game to clear off something big against Warrior, like double Armor Smith with something that's less than 4 health or less than 5 health. But what can you do?
Well, let's see.
He did draw a Brawl.
You could.
With the Dot Steal.
Oh yeah, he does a Brawl, but we know who wins Brawl every time.
If there's 2 Armor Smith, which one wins? Is it just a perpetual cycle that just keeps going over and over again?
Well, I was looking at possibility of plays with Pyromancer. It's not pretty, but you can do some stuff here.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is you are splitting the armor.
Yeah.
So you Power Word Shield the Pyromancer and then trade it in.
Yep. It's not too bad.
Yeah, and I was thinking some other possibilities like Shrinkmeister and stuff, but I think this one's just vastly superior.
Yep, I definitely agree. You're clearing as much as you can in this situation, and I don't know if you're not really too worried about him getting so much armor. I mean, yeah, at some point you are, but a lot of the times the priest will just beat a warrior just by outlasting him.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the name of the game, fatigue, like out-fatiguing your opponent.
Yeah.
Which might be the case if you're Grunwave, because I don't even know where Weifu is at the moment. Did he go take a nap?
No, that's his arm.
Oh, is that his arm?
Yeah.
I thought that was the side of a pillow.
Is it?
Or like a
cushion. It could be. I don't know. We're going to have to analyze this a little bit more. Yeah, it's an arm.
It's an arm. It's alive! I mean, Weifu's at really odd hours. You can see him taking a sip of coffee or something trying to stay awake. It's like 4 a.m. over there.
Yeah.
I like drawing cards here. There's nothing wrong with it. He's going to trade in his Armor Smith.
Yep. Get some value out of both of these two. So I really like the way he's played with his acolytes and his armorsmiths so far this game. He's gotten as much use out of them as you could possibly hope for.
Right.
In this matchup.
I mean, a lot of these control mirrors or control matchups are all about how you use the small cards efficiently.
Yeah. Yep.
Not necessarily just about how you finish with the big ones.
And how you deal with your opponent's small cards without having to use too much of your own removal that you're going to need for later in the game.
I do think it's a big deal that Priest picked up 2 removal spells, by the way.
Yes, yes.
A lot of times you only have 2 Shadow Word Deaths, so that
Yeah.
only allows you to attack on, like, the Ragnaros and the Alexstrasza.
Yeah.
But not, like, the Lothebs, not like the Dr. Booms, like, all these, like, really annoying creatures that you do want to kill because it imposes on the board, but you don't have the opportunity. So Execute is pretty huge. As well as Brawl.
Brawl would probably be pretty good for Trogzor. Maybe.
Oh, there is a Trogzor, you're right.
Yeah. I guess it would be okay because you're reducing the chance, you're innately reducing the chance that Trogzor is going to live through the Brawl by summoning another creature.
Yeah.
Even though that creature is probably not a good creature that you'd want to survive the Brawl anyway, but oh well. That's an interesting dynamic. We'll have to see if it comes to that. It's a big possibility that it could.
Well, the game is still pretty young. It's starting to get a little chilly, so I'm going to start a fire. Is Weifu contemplating not doing anything? Just hero power passing.
What other play does he have? It's terrible to throw out a Sylvanas like that.
Right.
You know how much I hate that, Frodan. Just slamming a Sylvanas just for the sake of having a Sylvanas.
Well, it's not the sake of having it. It's just like you have a 5/5 and you control the board, and they have to respond to it. But I agree. Like, Sylvanas is another way to deal with a big legendary creature.
Yeah, especially since you can Sylvanas Shadow Word Death.
49 health.
Wow.
And starting to whack away. He's got double Inner Rage, which is, like, crazy because you can use that on Grommash for 16 damage, but you can effectively do the same thing if you just Inner Rage now.
Yeah.
Draw a card is fine as well. If he did this, he should have done it at the beginning of the turn.
Inner Rage on Acolytes is a surprising amount of value.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, if it just said draw a card at the end of it, it'd be like, wow, I have to play this card in every deck.
Yeah.
Because it cycles and
Yeah.
it does 1 damage and it enrages.
Yep. And it's 0 mana.
Yeah, 0 mana spells are so hard to balance. Because, I mean, they can do ridiculous and wondrous things.
Yeah. Like Soulfire.
Soulfire, Backstab had to get nerfed too.
Oh yeah, Backstab you used to be able to not have to use it on a full health minion.
Yep. And then, I mean, cards like Moonfire, it can be outrageous with, like, some spell power, right? It's like 0 mana, 3 damage, or 6 damage with Malygos.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well. Got the Alexstrasza. Whoa. This is scary.
Yep. Do you attack with the weapon?
Well, yeah, I think so. Because then you have weapon next turn. I would attack face, because then even if he heals out of range, you're still have Fiery War Axe, Grommash, Inner Rage. So that's 15 damage still. I guess he still has it, so. And he also has an
but he's gonna
Alexstrasza
heal
board.
himself for sure, though. He's gonna Shadow Word Death and heal this.
But if he had Fire War Axe face, he would have put him at 12. So even if he had healed, he would have had lethal next turn.
You're right. If Weifu mind controls this, he's dead.
Yeah.
But he most likely won't.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna use the Execute. This is good. He's got a full hand of cards that Northstar Cleric did its job pretty effectively.
Yep. This Ledge Belcher was actually a pretty significant draw here.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Is there a way to get through it, though? He's got Shield Slam, which is fine. Shield Slam plus the weapon, so he can Shield Block before that. So you draw, see if you can pick up something else, maybe the Black Knight.
Yeah. He's got so many spells in his hand, so much removal here. But nothing to, like, help him push through. I guess the weapon is good, Shield Slam's good.
That's fine, the weapon here.
Yeah.
But you Shield Block first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Made this mistake earlier, he's not going to make it again. wants to draw at the beginning of the turn. You always feel a little silly when you know that you should be drawing at the beginning of the turn. At the end, you're like, oh yeah, here, by the way, here's a life tab. It's like, ah.
You just kind of like throw it out there as quick as you can and then end your turn before
and,
your
like,
opponent
squelch your
draws.
opponent. It's like before he was like, oops, that was an error.
Yep. I've done that before. I have.
So if you play Sylvanas, does he still develop the Fiery War Axe? Because
Well, you can.
at this point, you don't need armor.
You can't.
Oh, he doesn't have enough mana, excuse me, you're right.
Yeah.
Does he steal the Sludge Belcher with the Shield Slam? Oh, he already passed, okay. He had the opportunity to take that Sludge Belcher away.
Yeah. Maybe he wants to take something even better away.
But
So
now, what stops the Priest from just mind controlling?
nothing. Actually, I think Sylvanas is a great target to mind control.
Huh.
Because not only are you removing his creature, but then you can also, in turn, use Sylvanas as a really great way to remove things.
Yeah, if he plays Ragnaros, you just run it in.
Yep, exactly. I don't know if Grunwave actually runs Rag. I don't think we've seen
Maybe,
it.
yeah, I think he may have replaced the Ragnaros with Trogsor.
Yeah. And he had to have gotten rid of something for those inner rages. I wonder what. Well, I guess a lot of players are running Whirlwinds now. So that could be a possibility.
You don't really replace like a legendary with Whirlwind, though.
No, I'm talking about the inner rages.
Oh.
He replaced
yeah.
Whirlwinds with the inner rages.
I was like, that's not
No, he
really
re-
an appropriate switch.
He replaced both Whirlwinds with one Ysera. That's how you do it.
Seems legit.
Ysera Awakens is basically just a steroids Whirlwind
I have no time for games.
or a Flame Shack. +1.
Alright, well, silences his opponent's Sylvanas, which effectively removes its ability and its big threat.
Whoa!
Bouncing Blade.
That's cool.
So this card hits a random minion until one of it dies.
Yep.
It's very effective as single target removal,
Yep.
especially against cards like Shade of Naxxramas and Spectra Knight.
Yep.
Toss it out there. Ding, 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 ding.
It's one of the only spells that can get through those guys, which otherwise would not be very good. I've yet to see a warrior deck utilize Commanding Shout with Bouncing Blade, even though I think it might have some cool combinations.
Sure.
Maybe we'll see that eventually, but still I think a pretty good card even without that.
Double Shield Slam on the Sludge Belcher. Wow, he's going to put him down to 2 health.
Whoa.
This is so aggressive.
That is nuts.
Weifu looks like he's about to sleep, but he needs to wake up right now because he is under heavy threat of dying.
Yeah. 2 health. I'm sleepy.
I mean, you just take the Grommash.
Yeah.
Just kill off his Sylvanas and take it back.
Yeah.
Smack the warrior.
Yeah, but then you're at
4 health.
4 health.
I mean, there's no other way about it.
Yeah.
There's no way to be defensive.
Yep, that's true. That's very true. Or another way, he could just... No, he needs to heal. He needs to eliminate as many lethal opportunities for his opponent. He's been through 1 Fireworks and he's been through 1 Death Bite, but that's it. So, even if he heals up, then Grunwave still has an out. It wouldn't even be an out, it would just be just a straight up victory.
Yeah. I'm a little baffled that he went for this rush immediately, but you know, at the same time, he's trying to seal the game away. I don't know what he's trying to get to. Maybe he draws Deathbite and kills his opponent.
Yeah, well, I like to, when I have the opportunity, try and push for something aggressive as the warrior, because a lot of the times the priest is just gonna wear you out. It's just gonna fatigue you out, and so you have to look for opportunities when you can. And I think that would probably be his best chance. And now he's an opportunity here to win the game.
So I guess he does have 2 attacks with the weapon, right? That is 6 damage, and that means he needs more.
Yeah.
So this is a 3-turn plan here from Grunwave, whereas the Fire War Axe does 6 damage over 2 turns, and you can't heal enough.
And the Doom bots. That's always a risk.
Well, I don't know if he was calculating that.
Oh, come on, man. Well, okay, so he wasn't calculating his original plan. But
yeah, exactly. Now it's like, you play Dr. Boom.
Yeah. Then he has to not only remove that, but find a way to reduce the effectiveness of the bots.
Yeah, this is cool. If he was playing a Fire War Axe chop down over a course of 2 turns,
yeah,
then yeah, I can get behind that for sure.
What is he thinking about doing here, though? What?
Bouncing Blade will kill off this Dark Cultist
and then
give the buff.
and it will also enrage the Grommash. It'll enrage the Grommash.
And he executes.
Buff it. Okay.
Oh my gosh! What if he kills Grommash before it? Okay.
Okay. A little bit scary there.
Execute, and then chop.
All right. Well, I like this play. I like this line of play. Still putting him on a clock, forcing him to have a taunt or some way.
Or a significant heal.
Yeah.
Light of Nairu.
Holy Nova.
Some way to live.
Oh, what's he gonna draw?
Oh!
Wow. So
that is a heal. That is a 3 heal.
digging himself out of a hole. A pretty big hole.
Wow, you know what? That puts like an annoying creature on the board too.
Yeah, it really does.
In the light's name.
I think
So
it
he
can get
heals up
pretty
to a
big pretty
3/2,
quickly.
6 health.
Yeah.
So now it's like Gore Howl wins the game,
Change your mind.
or a Ragnaros shot to the face. Okay, well I guess it's Dr. Boom time.
Yeah. Only way. And then he's starting to get out of range of that scary zone, so you might even have to clear away the Light Warden with the last charge of the Fire War Axe.
Yeah, you think so? That's pretty intense. You're giving away some of your damage.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you have a choice. It's almost too imposing. It's not that it's the health that matters, it's the fact that the Light Warden might single-handedly kill Dr. Boom.
Wow. That is a scary thing.
Do you pop your own? How about you pop your own Boombot right now?
Just to see. You might get the Light Warden and you can just go face.
You?
Or you
No,
might
no,
win the game.
You might win the game right here.
Whoa! I like that. I really like that.
He knows.
He's thinking about it. He's like, oh, yes!
No!
Grunwave. You're going back to...
Okay, well, I mean,
Grunfeld.
it was okay. 1 out of 3 chances to hit the right target, so that's 33.
Even if
and
you
then
hit the Light Warden.
50% chance to do enough damage.
That's
So
not
that's
that great odds.
That's around 16.5%. That the play happened there to win. I mean, that's to win right there on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I
think
would have been okay with that.
I think he still has a pretty good chance regardless. Because he knows that his opponent's been through a lot of... Well, I don't know. Okay, so... You mind control?
Well,
Then he won't
mind
be able to
control is
heal
the only
up.
way to kill this Boombot without brawling. I think you might have to brawl.
Yeah, but if you brawl and the Dr. Boom wins...
Oh yeah, I guess. Mind control is another way to remove
And even if it doesn't win, the brawl still procs the...
Oh! Scary moments.
Oh, man, this is...
Okay, it's come down to this.
Wow.
So, you Death Spite, attack the face, and you brawl?
Yeah.
Because if you attack the face, and then with everything, you put him at 1 HP, all Boombot has to do is die and hit the face for 1 damage.
2 damage?
No, because you attack the face with both things.
Oh, yeah.
You put him
gotcha.
at 1 health.
Whoa!
All he has to do is hit the face.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so...
Do you play... Oh...
And even if the Doombot survives, is the
Here
one
you
that
go.
survives,
Here
you
you
still
go.
have a Death
You know what he's
Spite.
going to do? He's going to brawl first because he might have the Death Spite whenever minion comes out. He's playing the super safe.
Okay. Yeah.
But I prefer the other way around. Brawl is going to come out here.
Oh,
He
jeez.
needs to kill a minion, preferably kill Dr. Doom.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh my God!
he gets it
Wow.
from downtown.
Oh, man.
Wow, what a
Dr.
great
Boom.
way to end the game.
Yeah.
Man. Well, that was really fun.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of those Doombot endings like that. That's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, Grunwave's going to take a 1-0 lead in this series. A little bit of a long first game, but
Pretty nuts.
definitely a lot more exciting than Priest vs. Warrior used to be. Some
Yeah,
of those
I mean,
legendaries
it was,
really add some
it was
spice.
down to heals and ability to combo with the Grommash Hell Scream.
Yeah.
That was the primary way where we see the endings, but now all of a sudden it's like, there's more interactions.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a situation you'll see all the time, but when it does come, gotta be grateful for it. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Going to game number 2 now, we have, I believe, Shaman versus, was it Druid? Oh, no, I think Shaman versus the Warlock, right?
Yeah, I know Shaman was the second deck for Grunwave, but I don't
Okay.
remember what exactly was the second deck.
Well, because he has Priest, Warlock, and Hunter. So
Oh,
Shaman
Warlock.
versus Warlock is going to be interesting to say the least, because I don't know how this Reincarnate Shaman does against Handlock. When Reincarnate Shaman first came out, it was during a Hunter infested meta, which
Yeah.
also baffled me. The fact
Yeah.
that Magic Win was able to do it. So if Grunwave can continue this momentum, he's 2 games away from getting a Saturday ticket.
Yeah, and he's impressed me so far with this play, especially the Warrior play. And it's a little bit of an interesting deck. The Inner Ages is something that we haven't seen for a while. And so we'll have to see. A lot of his decks have a little bit of interesting choices going on in them, but this is a pretty standard handlock that we're seeing from Weifu. So what are your thoughts on this matchup in general? I know a lot of it comes down to whether or not Shaman can deal with these big threats early, but I don't think he knows whether or not this is... Does he know? If this is handlock or Zuya?
Urshock is good against either.
Both, yeah.
I don't think he can be too sure. In fact, most Asian players for a while was notoriously running Zoo.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say. Now he knows.
Yep. Or it's a Zoo with a bad hand.
There's just no way. You have a coin as well.
Double Doomguard, double Harvest Golem in your opening hand. Whenever I play Zoo, that happens to me.
Well, it's fine now. Now he knows.
Now you know.
Ah, that's a great draw.
Yeah.
So the Haunted Creeper plus this Flame Tongue Totem over the course of turns will be really good.
Yeah.
No clear play yet for Weifu on turn 4. I think he might just have to pass without overdrawing here.
You don't Dark Bomb one of these?
I guess you could, but you want a Hellfire next turn, don't you?
Yeah, that's true.
I think you're okay taking this damage.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could drop Ancient Watcher.
Yeah. I like this line of play. Sorry, I didn't actually see the Hellfire, so...
Oh, it's a little bit hard to see sometimes on the screen.
Yeah.
The thing about Ancient Watcher this turn is that Hellfire damages him, but you don't have a way to activate him other than this Owl anyways, and I don't think you're planning on necessarily going too ham.
Yeah. It's going to be tough, though. Even if he Hellfire's here, it's going to leave those 2/2 spiders, which can be pretty annoying.
Well, that changes things. I think you Giant as although Hellfire, like actually,
I think you want to get the Hellfire out of the way.
yeah, actually, right. Well, it's not even getting out of the way. It's that Giant's not as safe as you think it is because Flame Tongue Totem destroys your board.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more I think about it, it's like Hellfire makes less sense.
Yeah. Well, even then, though, the Spectral Spiders are still going to stick around, and then Flame Tongue still does pretty good work on your board.
Is there any merit to saving that and using like Owl on your Ancient Watcher here?
Well, it looks like Weifu thought the same thing that you did.
Because then, what if you just like Dark Bomb, whatever, just like
It's
comes
sort-
out? The Dark Bombs are so good against
Yeah.
Flame Tongue Totems.
Yeah. It's sort of that play is sort of the middle ground between both.
Right.
Between the Hellfire and the Giant. The Giant's just a very like greedy play. The Hellfire's the sort of the I guess safer in a way. But
Well, this is
the
a pretty
happy
good
medium.
draw too. The Dark Iron Dwarf's nice.
Oh yeah. I don't know why people haven't been playing Dark Iron Dwarf for longer in
Just
Shaman.
because the mana slot is really awkward.
You think, well, it competes with Defender of Argus. But that's
yeah,
it.
it's the mana slot. You often are overloaded, and so 3 fits a lot of the curves easier.
Yeah.
Because what happens on turn 3, Feral Spirits
Or
if you have the
Lightning
Storm,
And then you're stuck with 2 mana, and then the next turn
Yeah.
you have 5 mana.
or Totem Lightning Bolt. Like a lot of these things clog it up, and turn 4 isn't as clean. So it's very subjective what is like a normal drop on a turn
Yeah.
for Shaman. So usually the 4 mana slot's a little bit too contested.
So you feel like a lot of the times when you play Dark Iron Dwarf, you like floating mana because of the weird curve that it presents.
Or you
especially
can't even play it.
Or yeah. True.
Because turn 4 is a turn you overload, so that turn 5 you Drake, turn 6 you Fire Elemental, turn
Yeah.
7 you Neptulon.
It fits perfectly.
At least according to my plan.
Well, I remember reading the threads on Epsilon, and people were saying, oh, it fits Shaman perfectly. because usually like they can just follow it up Fire Elemental Neptulon like it happens every game.
Well, it's like an Ancient of Lore. The way
Yeah.
Neptulon works.
Yeah.
It's just like a big body, fills your hand, except it overloads you for a lot.
Yep.
But you draw 4 cards and not 2, and it's
Yeah.
7/7.
Yep. I think it has a place. I think it has a place.
So,
Is that you trying to get the?
yeah, that is me. I was trying to get the boot. But I was thinking of, I'm using this to think, like, whether or not you should Hellfire here.
Yeah, I think you Giant Dark Bomb the Flame Tongue.
I think that's also really appropriate.
Chances are he won't have a second Flame
More,
Tongue.
it's more mana friendly.
Oh yeah, he's still on the coin actually as well. So it's like a little extra buffer for his Mountain Giants and his Twilight Drakes that he can also use as utility later on.
Ah, we got a boot.
Yes! All right, time to go home.
We did it, Reddit.
That's it.
Okay, well, on a more serious note, like, he needs to find a way to piece together a win here. What happens is you bring Handlock low enough where you can burst them with damage like Doomhammer,
Yeah,
Bloodlust, Alakir.
yeah.
Since you have none of those, you have to be very careful and resourceful.
Yeah, a lot of the times I try and like make sure that the opponent is low enough so that if I do manage to draw into something, that I can beat him and keep enough creatures on the board that I can still beat him. But at the same time, you don't want to overextend because you'll just get AoE down with Shadow Flame or Hellfire, and you'll use a lot of the cards in your hand that are going to be pretty valuable later on. And you don't want to get them too low because then the Mountain Giants come out. If you don't have a way to answer the Mountain Giants, you don't want to put them in that range earlier on.
Well, here's what is nice though. He has Earthshock, so he can get past the taunt.
Yeah,
He holds.
I like that.
He holds. Oh man.
Well, he doesn't have Molten Giants, so it's sort of a little bit of a reprieve for Weifu, but
Yeah, but
I like that whole
He's
background
got to
wave.
punish though. He can punish this.
Dark Bomb, Shadow Flame? I don't even know.
Oh, he has coin, so he
Oh,
can.
wow.
Yeah, so he can coin Shadow, like he can Shadow Flame this Earthring Farseer,
Okay.
which is reasonable. Hellfire is also okay too, like Hellfire and then or BGH. BGH is better, of course. Derp.
Wait, why would he play? He can't play BGH.
BGH coin Hellfire.
He'd have to BGH
Or
his
coin
own
Shadow.
giant.
Oh, you're right. He has to target something. Ah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
You can't do that.
You're totally right, man. He's not allowed to do it without targeting his giant. That's so inconvenient and hilarious at the same time.
And if he Shadow Flames the Earthen Ring Farseer, he just he still leaves 2 1/1s and a 4/1 on the board. Awkward. Oh no, he'd be able to he'd be able to clear off something, but then his Mountain Giant would be less health.
Yeah.
He's just gonna forget everything. I'm just
Screw
gonna
it,
throw down
let's
Loatheb.
The good old screw it, let's Loatheb play.
Okay. Well, this is sort of like the same outcome as if he had Shadow Flame, except he's, instead of being a little bit healthier, he's blocking out spells.
Which effectively has the same exact result anyways.
Yeah. And this is a pretty good timing for Loatheb because blocks out Hex, since he's on 7 mana. So Hex, of course, costs 8 mana. So he's going to have to force him to find different answers, and it doesn't look like he has very good answers right now.
No. You might Drake.
Yeah, I feel like you got a Drake here.
He did draw Hex, which is nice, so he can deal with the big threat down the line. Maybe as soon as his next turn. But for now, I think Drake's your best option. You don't need to go in defensive just yet, like with Defender of Argus.
Yeah.
Because Defender of Argus makes your boards just as frail as before. Drake's actually slightly better. Ooh, 2 Earthshocks. Alright, now we're getting
Whoa.
really interesting.
Yeah. If he draws into something to burst down, he can get to just about anything.
So if Grunwave held before, he's going to hold here, right?
Yeah.
Because
It doesn't make sense.
Your opponent has a stronger board, so like, why would you want to attack now as opposed to before when your opponent didn't have a board?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to hold, to be that inconsistent with your choices, and yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but this is where it's going to get really painful for Shadow Flame plays, and he can heal the giant back up to an 8/7. Oh boy.
Oh man, this is
Oh Oh, of course, because it had 5 power. I was like, why couldn't you Shadow Flame the Earthring Farseer? But it makes total sense.
So this is an interesting decision here. He has to think whether or not he wants to heal up the Mountain Giant or heal up his face. How afraid is he of Burst?
If your opponent has
14?
Rock Biter with Doomhammer, it's 10, and Lightning Bolt, that's 13. He could roll a Spell Power Totem. No, he couldn't. I think it's okay, perfectly fine to heal your minion here. You don't need it. You're out of range of a lot of stuff.
Yep.
He needs specifically like Rock Biter, 2 Rock Biters and a Doomhammer. Hex, and then you know, maybe he had also a chance to reincarnate, but I think he's just playing it on the safer side here.
Yeah, and this one, it feels like it's going to be a little bit longer. So maybe you want to save the reincarnate for like some Sylvanas value, or even like Kel'Thuzad or something.
Sure.
He's getting a 4/4. Doesn't feel, it feels okay against the handlock, but unless you know that that 4/4 is going to help you like kill him in the next couple turns.
Yeah.
Then not really too much of a point.
How much mana cost is a frog? Because if you recombobulate it, what does it turn into?
Well, when it's 0. It's, yeah, when it gets back in your hand, it doesn't cost anything to replay.
So if you recombobulate a frog,
Target dummy.
or a wisp,
Whoa.
or a sheep that gets polymorphed,
Yeah. Pretty much just
the possibilities are truly endless.
pretty much just slight upgrades to a frog. Basically, target dummy is like an upgraded hex, an upgraded frog.
But it's not a beast anymore.
Oh, that's true. But how much beast
And it's
synergy
also
does
not
a
a
shaman
frog.
have?
It's a mech.
Oh yeah, target dummy is a mech.
Alright, well, Twilight Drake, I think it's the best time to get out now. Earthshock doesn't ever feel good, but at least he doesn't Earthshock your Sludge Belcher. Now it's like we're working in reverse. In the very beginning of the game, you don't want your Twilight Drakes to get Earthshocked. That's why you are resilient to playing it.
Yeah.
Now in the late stage of the game, you'd rather get Earthshocked than your Sludge Belcher for a burst kill. Because if he saves Earthshock for it, then you're in trouble. Like, there's actually no reason to save this Earthshock if you want to kill it, but just look at the power of what this is going to do. I believe what spawns to the right, the Nerubian or the egg?
The age-old question.
Because if so, then Defender of Arcus position
I don't know,
becomes
actually.
a big deal.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the egg spawns to the left.
Alright, I think it spawns to the right.
Okay. So the Nerubian happens before the egg. So I think it's the wording on the card, because it's kill the minion and then resummon it. So the death rattle would trigger first. Would trigger. It would
Trickle, trickle, yeah.
Oh, there's anti-Keelbot is gonna make it feel a little bit more safe. But I don't know how safe he's gonna feel here.
Yeah, he wanted to pick up Molten Giants. The problem with playing Jiraxis is, well, 1, he might kill you, but 2, you still have Molten Giants in the deck.
Yeah, I think you can throw the Earthen Ring Farseer into the Nerubian Hellfire and then just throw out the anti-Keelbot. Or the Sludge Belcher.
But you'd
be at 17 health.
Yeah, but then your opponent has 9 on board.
No, he would only have 4.
The Nerubian spawns.
Yeah, you would only have the 4/4 from the Nerubian left.
Oh, you. Okay, sorry. When you said Nerubian, I meant Nerubian egg. My bad.
No. No.
Yeah, it's actually a viable play. You can also.
You can also just Siphon Soul the Nerubian.
Yeah. But that's a lot weaker.
You can also do the same play. God, this is weird. And then what's he gonna do now?
PGH.
Okay. PGH's not gonna get much other value.
This is so weak to Lightning Storm. I think I liked your play a little bit better.
17 health, even with a 4/4 on board, is still pretty good. I mean, what's going to kill you? It's still the same things that was going to kill you earlier. And that's still going to kill you now.
I think I liked your play a little bit better. But...
oh, it's weak to Lightning Storm, you say?
Yeah. Wow, that's really bad. Because now you could have punished him, guaranteed, and... This shoves him essentially like all in. I think you Defender and you push. There's no point of holding anymore.
You have an Earthshock, so you're going to be able to get through 1 taunt.
That's right.
So,
and you taunt the 2 left creatures, so that way a Defender doesn't die to a Hellfire.
Grunwave, you've held off on going
Long
aggressive
enough.
long enough.
Here we go.
It's time to push face.
HAM.
Let's do it.
Ham.
I was like,
That spells ham.
I've never heard somebody actually say out the acronym. Not many people. Well, no, I'm not gonna go into that.
Oh, not many people know where the origins are from. They just kind of
Yeah.
copy it based
Yeah.
off of memes. It's like, oh yeah, it actually
Yeah,
was a
going
song.
ham because ham is great. That's what some people think. I don't know.
That's right. Toss that pigskin. No, they don't understand the song, right?
Yeah, only
well-
90s kids will understand.
So if you play Antique and Sludge Belcher, he has one card left.
Okay, so
Can you Shadow Flame anything? Not really.
nope.
You can Shadow Flame yourself. That's like a weird thing that's been going on. Right? Like there's some bug games where you can Shadow Flame the hero and kill yourself.
Well, you can sacrificial pack the Draxus. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you be able to Shadow Flame a Draxus?
Exactly. Wow. There's a lot of fire and explosions. And at the end of the day, Weifu says, if you
Oh,
have
no!
it, you have it.
Do you put? No, you
No,
can't.
no, no, no,
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you put him at
This
one?
is a Searing Totem, right? Okay. If it was a Searing Totem, that's so
This
troll.
play is actually really good though, because now he can just Draxus, and then he has Antique Healbot for the post Draxus.
It is. Because now he's got the Aerodolor of the Burning Legion.
Hello. In Grunwave, you can just see the disappointment in his face. He's like, I waited all this time, fought this hard for this.
Well, Doomhammer, right here.
Still not gonna do anything.
Okay, well, he can run a Taunt Totem.
Taunt Totem would be a huge deal right now because it would protect this card. No. And Drax is just gonna eat another victim with his hands.
Does he eat his victims? I thought he just kills them. That's a dead draw.
Now look, he see his hands. He's holding something up to eat it.
Oh, okay. I thought he was just, you know, like celebrating being at the finish line.
Why would it be called Blood Fury if he wasn't eating? Have I been wrong this whole time?
Yes. You don't have to eat blood. Whoa! Double blood. Okay, so he doesn't have Doomhammer. He has 2 Bloodlusts.
Wow. I'm not sure if I like double Bloodlust. It can be dead in your hand for a long time if you draw this early.
Well, it's easy to say from now, this perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if I
Mr.
like
Hindsight.
double Bloodlust if you have one totem on the board and a sledge staring at a Sledge Belcher.
Change your handle to a Zumo 2020.
Yep. Anything would probably be better than Cutie, so.
Was the cutie coming from like a person that called you a cutie, or is that just like...
Yeah, the world's calling me Cutie. No,
Gotcha.
when I first made a handle, someone had already taken his Numo. So I had to put something on the end. It was either LOL or Cutie.
Why cutie?
I don't know. It was just the thing back then. People were just putting Cutie on the end of
Thank
things.
God that was back then. Bloodlust to the face. This is what we've been
Oh, wow.
belittled to as a shaman. Like, and all he has to do is just survive. Just attack, make another Infernal, play your Twilight Drake, push for damage.
This is getting rough for Weifu, though. We said the time's got to play a factor. It's
True.
getting late over there.
The
And
longer it goes.
Grunwave, I know shamans can pull out some miracles in the later game, but sometimes you got to think, maybe you guys should surrender. But maybe he's taking into account Weifu's from Taiwan. I'm just gonna.
Wow,
Throw.
he's Siphon Soul, so now he's out of range of Alakir.
Wow. Hello.
Alakir, nope. So I guess that's going to be it.
Alright.
Nothing that Grunwave can do here. So the series will be tied up 1 apiece as we go into game number 3 tied up.
Yeah. So this has been a pretty grueling series so far. Both of these games have been pretty long, pretty well fought. And we are going to get to go to the blind pick phase, so I'm curious what these guys are actually going to choose once we get to that point. But I think the last matchup is going to be, what, Hunter versus Warlock?
And it's going to be the handlock of Grunwave
Yep.
versus the Hunter of Weifu. Now, Hunter in general, I've been seeing it fail a lot, but I've also still see it be really strong. I
Yeah.
feel like its win percentages in tournaments isn't the highest though.
Oh, no.
Like I look at DreamHack.
It was Druid that was dominating DreamHack.
Druid was the one that was dominating, and if it wasn't Druid, it was Warlock that also had
Yeah.
a great win rate, and then Hunter was like up there.
Yeah.
But I think it goes without saying that Warlock's on top.
Yeah.
And
Especially now.
yeah, and that Hunter has definitely fallen from grace a little bit.
Yeah. I think Warrior's pretty strong right now as well. I think Warrior's win rates have been a little bit higher. Shield Maiden is such a great card. We'll have to see later on if that's going to be the case, but this time it's going to be Hunter versus Warlock. Now, we saw this matchup earlier between... Oh, what is it?
A few other...
Sorry, I got really
before.
distracted by Grunwave eating something.
We saw it with the second series, which was Weifu versus... it wasn't Frozen, right? It was the guy playing Paladin. God,
Shoop.
Shoop, yeah.
Shoop doop, shoop a whoop.
Shoop 2.
Shoop 2. Yeah, and I believe the Hunter came out.
This is really bad, man. Like, this happens every time when, like, the caster's, like, trying to reference something earlier on, which happened, like, 5.5 hours ago, and you're like, gosh, I have no idea actually what's going on. So, that's on you, though.
You're welcome.
That's on you, because you brought it up, man. I was trying to help you and support you.
Thank you for throwing me a bone, but I just threw it right back at your head, so.
Yeah, no worries. Next game, Hunter versus Warlock. I think it definitely goes either way.
Yeah.
I think Hunter has really good tech to put on some good pressure.
Yeah.
Cards like Glazuka doesn't help as much, though, as like antique healing bot. So I think Handlock is favored in this matchup.
Yeah.
The more I play it, the less I fear Hunters.
Yeah.
The one X factor, again, though, are cards like Savannah Highmane. Savannah Highmane is like... It's such a good rebound card because its board presence and its damage is unrivaled for its mana cost at the moment.
Yeah. And you have to sort of take care of it almost instantly.
Right, otherwise it gets out of control because it's also a beast.
You can't just say, oh, it's Savannah Highmane. I'll let that sit there for a little bit. Mull it over how I want to deal with this sucker. Can't do that.
He's also running Hunter's Mark, so this is actually a really good list to take down Handlock.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark is great tech for that, especially later on in the game when you can easily take out those big giants. I like this start here.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the best to silence the Undertaker. You'd rather just Dark Bomb it. But the reason why being because you want to save that silence for Mad Scientist.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, it's just how you gotta live with life.
Yeah. Just well said. Well said.
It is. I'm gonna sit down with my kids one day and tell them, like, look, one day you just have to owl the Undertaker.
Yeah, save those dark bombs.
But through it all, you'll make it. Just press through, persevere. They'll be like, Dad, what are you talking about? It's like, talk about Hearthstone. It's like, oh, you mean like, because Hearthstone 6 will be out by then? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you talk about that old school game? We used to play with our fingers. It's like, oh,
It'd be like when your parents talk
Oh
about
my
like the
God.
Atari.
Yeah, but my parents don't know what an Atari is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your
You don't
dad's.
have to be, man. It's fine. I turned out okay.
You
My
did.
parents didn't know what an Atari was, and I don't think I messed up.
You turned out fantastic.
Thank you. Well, this is not an ideal target to freezing trap.
Not at all. Do you like Jirax as an opening hand against a hunter? Or do you think that's just dead and you need something else? Because
I like Molten Giants a lot more than Jiraxis.
Okay. But a lot of the times I feel pretty comfortable, even though, I mean, it doesn't do anything.
I mean, Jiraxis is nothing more than just like an antique healing bot that costs a lot.
Maybe, yeah.
It scales, right?
I feel like most times that I beat Hunter, it's either with Molten Giants. It's either I have Molten Giants in my opening hand or Jiraxis in my opening hand. Because Jiraxis is sort of the nail in the coffin a lot of the times for the Hunter. A lot of times you're right on the edge of stabilizing, and the Hunter has like lethal damage almost, and then you Jiraxis and you win the game.
Well, he's got double Farseer. So, finally, that gives opportunity for Hunter to play a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Why is there some apologies going on back and forth? I don't even know. I guess he's like, well, you can't deal with this Farseer. Faceless Manipulator. That's a card that's been cycled out as well, but it's so strong when you couple it with some really powerful creatures.
Yeah. Probably just fit the curve here. Wait.
You can also owl and start pushing
Yeah.
damage.
Because if you You can't really throw your mad scientist in here to sacrifice because then you can just check pretty easily with the slime.
Maybe. I don't know. It's like a catch-22. You don't want to draw your traps because imagine this freezing trap was in play and he would have had another card that's more useful, like Eagle Hornbow.
Yeah.
But you don't want to give up your minion that easily on the board, especially if it's not an easy trade.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think it's a mad scientist dip.
Alright, well, what is that?
What secret is it? It's freezing trap.
Hmm.
So he wants to bounce back the Farseer into his hand. That is a very useful card. Toy have.
Yes, it is. But you really, I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
well done. Good read from Weifu. He's on point.
Oh, you can't. Either way, I don't think you can throw in the slime because what if it's you just gave up your slime if it's anything other than
Fair enough.
anything other than freezing trap. So.
Well, I mean, you could play defender first.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call. Oh well, he's gonna get some use out of the slime anyway. He's got Savannah High Main. This is a pretty good turn. Houndmaster to follow it up. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's really devastating when you phrase it like that.
Yeah.
Does he kill off this defender, though? At all?
Well, let's think. Why wouldn't he?
Well, you
He
missed
wants to
5
put him on a
damage.
clock. Well, yeah, I'm just trying to go through both first. I'm not saying like,
You
oh,
might have,
why wouldn't he?
Because you don't want to miss 5 damage. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but he misses 5 damage. He's playing, I don't know, he's playing very conservative style here. What's he afraid of? What's he afraid is going to happen to that defender of Argus? Ooh, sneaky,
Wow.
sneaky.
Faceless Manipulator. Well, I think Freezing Trap has a lot to say about that.
Yeah,
Oh, wait. I guess he's just going to kill it?
okay. What is he saving Freezing Trap for, though? This would be a really good tempo play, I think.
Yeah.
I guess he's okay with doing this.
Freezing Trap on a Big Giant as well.
Yeah.
But, like, I would have loved to see you save it for another taunt of some kind. Like, this Sludge Belcher is still going to be really annoying.
Yeah. What other creature is going to come down that's going to be more useful for Freezing Trap, though?
Yeah. I definitely think that was a little bit short-sighted from Weifu.
Yeah. We'll see if that's going to come back to haunt him, though.
Don't think so.
He's still in a
got so
pretty
much
good
damage
position.
on board.
Yeah. If you can weave in a high main attack plus like a hero power in any given turn, you're in a prime position. Ooh, yikes.
He got another trap in, but it's not Freezing Trap. I think it's Explosive.
Well, it has to be. Something else. There you go.
Well, this is really interesting. An owl stands between the way of a lion and its prey.
You can't really Houndmaster the Savannah Highman here just because it's just going to get killed anyway next turn by the Sunfury Protector. So either way, you're giving up the Savannah Highman.
Yeah, that's actually a really creative play based off the way Weifu did this. I wasn't even considering using the Hellfire there, but that was really clever. I like it.
Yeah. Well, he's going to do it anyway. I guess he's planning on putting the
You could
Houndmaster on
also
the board anyway.
hold on. Oh, goodness.
I don't know.
That owl took one for the team.
I think that sacrificing the Savannah Highmane and Houndmaster the Web Spinner might have been better there. You've already seen the Hellfire. The Sunfury Protector is not going to trade into the Web Spinner.
What I like about this play though is it sets up like it doesn't matter if he directs
because he puts freezing trap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
okay.
doesn't- he
I didn't
doesn't
take into
care about
account the
Jiraxis.
freezing trap in that play. Yeah, this is good.
But that's where Sludge Belcher comes back.
Oh, good old Sludge Belcher.
And you even fit the curve here.
Yeah. Can't Jiraxis.
The one thing you are worried about is this a possible snake trap? Because you want the Sun Fury actually to be back in your hand.
If it's a snake trap, does he care?
Well, yeah. If it's snake trap,
He's still going to kill the Highmane.
he might die on the backswing.
With one card? I don't know.
Snake
He's-
trap is 3 damage.
Yeah, but he put out the Sludge Belcher.
Right. So if he kill commands, pushes through, that's 15 damage.
Oh.
Right.
Well,
When
he'd kill the high main. If it was Snake Trap, he'd kill the high main.
Right, and he drew like a kill command off the
Oh,
top.
okay, okay.
Like, any way to get past it.
Got you.
Ooh, a buzzard.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Not the best card to get from the web spinner.
Not the worst,
Not the worst either.
but pretty darn close to it.
This is really annoying to deal with right now. I mean, I guess this is the best way.
Man, he's gonna subject this lion again, being stopped by the putiest of taunters in the world.
These taunts have blocked like 20-something damage. Easily.
Yeah, Grunwave should be dead twice over by now.
He should be. But I mean, those are just sort of the plays you have to make when you're the handlock in this situation. You have to stop damage in any way that you possibly can.
Ooh, man. That's a pretty big draw right now. Wow, that is such a big draw. That Hellfire is almost as good as it gets. Oh, wait, there's another trap, though, right?
Yes.
Ah.
The explosive trap is still
Yeah,
there.
I was like, well, the Drake could attack the face, and then you could just Earthen Ring.
I don't think it changes the play.
I think if you know that it's explosive because you attacked, I think you Jiraxis now. You Jiraxis, kill off the... You kill off the high main, and then you kill off the Knife Juggler with the weapon. You're going to be at 12 health as opposed to 13, and you finally got Jiraxis out of the way, which you can start producing.
Yeah, but if you Hellfire and then Earthen Ring Farseer, you can Draxus the next turn, and it'll save
Yeah,
you
but
some
then
health.
you don't have... But then you don't have Farseer for Jiraxis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's like, now Farseer is like... I mean, I guess so. I understand. It's just like, I like having it as opposed to... Because Jiraxis itself is a heal.
Yeah, and the Hunter is still pretty healthy, so you're not really close to getting him down towards like lethal range. So you're not really putting him on a clock. So having that extra heal, the extra post Jiraxis heal, you know what, Frodan? I agree with you. I like your play.
Well, the only thing is that the difference is that he would be at 12 health and have no board. Now he has 11 health and
With
a
a board.
3/3. So that is nice,
It's-
admittedly. But you have a weapon
Yeah.
that you can start regenning off of. And also, here's the thing. He probably has to think about his hand. He's only going to be drawing one card per turn now.
Yeah.
That's going to be really hard because Jiraxis, you lose your hero power of life tapping for 6/6 Infernal.
Yeah.
He holds. Whoa. Well, I think it's time to Jiraxis.
Yes, it is. I don't think he's that upset about seeing Draxus right now, because it's not like, oh, Draxus came out, I lose the game. Oh no.
Well, it's pretty close to it.
pretty close.
That's a
But
good draw.
you know that he's been through a lot of his healing so far. I think he still has an antique heal bot in his deck, though.
So that's 5 damage. That's 10 damage over 2 turns. Levernome is 12. Can he piece together a kill command?
He hasn't used either kill command, if I recall.
Even so, though, there's Lotheb.
Oh.
Lotheb and Taunt. Oh, that's such a big draw,
Oh.
too.
Wow. That's rough.
Lotheb, Defender of Argus, and he still has a Sun Fury Protector. Yeah, let's do this thing. You do 7 damage, put him at 11. Next turn, you have Represented Lethal. And I think Grunwave has this game. You have to play Lotheb, though, because you have to deny the ability for your opponent to play spells.
Yeah. He's
It's
really...
not the Buzzard Unleash combo. It's like, what if he has Cult Master Unleash? Or what if he has... I don't know, some kind of way to deal with it. And then the only bailout from Weifu is Deathwing.
Deathwing. You've told me tales about the
Deathwing Hunter,
infamous Deathwing Hunter,
which got ranked
feared.
#1 in Unladder.
Yeah.
Rank #1 Legend, that is. So a lot of people are like, well, rank #1's nothing if you don't get Legend.
Oh. Oh, he doesn't
Whoa.
play the Lotheb. I guess he's still safe.
I mean, he is, but why? It's something I don't understand. But
I mean,
In essence, he's still safe.
what could he possibly do with 2 cards?
But
Even
now,
if it
what if he
is-
gets buzzard? Oh,
Whoa!
or the unleash.
Oh,
He has
no!
the combo. What if he? I mean, what if he has a second hunter's mark?
What is this? 6 months ago?
Well, it's costing 5. Unfortunately, imagine if he used Call Beast or something. Okay, so
I still don't think he can get through all this. Even with what can he draw? He's already used
Hunter's
one Hunter's
Mark.
Mark. He's already used one.
so if he has
Do
a
you think he
second
runs
one,
2? Even then, you can't get through it. Oh yeah, you can.
he doesn't have enough mana to kill command. It stinks.
Still 4 cards though. What is it gonna be?
Timberwolf.
Oh, that's another draw.
That is another draw.
Well, this depends a lot on whether or
What
not
if
he
he
has
had
a second Hunter Mark.
Timberwolf, man, or even Direwolf Alpha?
Yeah, that's true.
He's doing all the combat math to see if he can draw Hunter's Mark, kill off the 7/7, kill off these remaining minions, and survive. And I think he's going to be just a little bit short.
Well, okay, so if he draws Hunter's Mark,
He's a Hunter's Mark to 7/7, kills off one of his doggies, uses 4 damage to kill off the Farseer, kill off the Defender Vargas, and then push for it.
yeah, I think he's dead.
Yeah, so that's gonna wrap up game number 3. And Grunwave, the Grunwave will be taking the 2-1 series lead. Very close game.
Oh yeah,
And that buzzer nerve ended up becoming such a big deal.
yeah, he would have had kill command in that scenario. I'm not sure if it even would have mattered, but still, it would have.
Oh, it would have mattered. You would have played.
Yeah, you would have been able to kill command the 7/7, still be able to clear at least a couple things.
Right.
Still be able to
draw more.
draw more. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 1 game away. Grunwave is to being invited to our or qualifying. I guess.
Yeah,
is a better-
basically going for tomorrow's main event. It's a pretty long, grueling process, honestly.
Yeah.
And you know, but for good measure, we want the best of the best, and so we get
Yeah.
to see this guy who you told me is a semi-retired attorney.
That's what he told us. He's a semi-retired attorney. I believe he resides in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Cool.
If I
cool
remember
stuff,
correctly.
Cool stuff. Well, it's good to see all kinds of backgrounds, or players from different backgrounds being able to make it through. And he's 1 game away. Weifu, it's gonna be tough because if he loses this one, there's still another match.
And it's what, like 5 a.m. over there in Taiwan, so getting pretty late. Fatigue's starting to kick in. And I mean, he's got some quick decks, but they're not the quickest decks. He does
Yeah.
have a priest thrown in there, so could be some long games if he does make it through the next one. But definitely excited to see. This is the blind pick phase, so these guys can pick any deck that they've used so far in the other 3 matches, any of their decks, and they don't know what their opponent's going to play.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
But we're going to see what these guys have available. So what do we have? We have Hunter, Priest, and Warlock.
Yep.
And then we have Shaman, Warrior, and Warlock.
Yes. Warlock versus Warlock. Okay. These are both handlocks.
Well, it makes sense, because I guess you don't want Priest into the handlock.
Yeah.
Or if Priest against Warrior, and then you don't want Shaman against the Priest. I think Warrior would have also been okay, but I suppose handlock versus handlock makes sense.
Yep.
And that'll be the matchup we ride all the way out through Game 5 then.
I would say so. If Weifu does manage to take this, I would not be surprised at all if they decide to go for same matchup there. But Grunwave is gone, but he's coming back.
It's a long day. It's a long day. You got to get yourself amped up. He changed again.
Did he? I think
Pretty sure he wore it, or maybe the color of the shirt.
Yeah, I think it's just the color of his webcam has been saturated a little bit.
Gotcha.
Maybe
So
he
it's
did
like-
change.
This guy changes like every single time I see him,
Yeah.
which is cool. You know, it's okay to be very fashion conscious in 2014. We're very modern here at ESL
Yeah. Very modern
and
studio
accepting.
with our barrel hoisted tables and our giant
That's right.
tavern-esque mugs and chandeliers
For
and
sure.
bear pelts and a fireplace. It's as modern as it gets.
It's as modern as it gets, and we'll see if he's able to ride this wave of momentum that's also behind him
Yeah.
to victory. Game
The
4 is about to
Grunwave,
begin.
even.
Yes, the Grun wave.
Oh, Grunwave. Okay.
But let's go to game number 4 and see what's Handlock Mirror and see what's all about. Handlock Mirrors, a lot of players are very confident in it. You ask any handlock player if they like the mirror, and they always say yes because they feel like the better player wins.
Yeah. It's a very skill-oriented matchup, and there's a lot of tough decisions, especially in that mid-game where players are putting out just huge creatures, making giant boards. It can be tough to sort of make the best use of the minions because you both are going to have the same stuff. It's about who can, and again, I say this a lot, but a lot of it comes down to game of chicken. Who's going to overextend first and risk like getting shadow flamed, or who's going to try and push for damage first and risk getting punished? Maybe it'll be Weifu because he's tired.
Well, you know, everyone here has been having a pretty long day, so thank you for everyone who's tuning in. Double Molten Giant is not what he wanted, but they're meeting their very cool and hip younger brother, which is the Mountain Giant.
The modern younger brother.
They're very contemporary because Mountain Giants come like, I mean, they're just cheaper, you know, they're easier to get to.
Yeah. But at the same time, they're very demanding.
I suppose so, but you know, it's gonna get actually really tricky too to cast this match soon because the hands are gonna be switched.
Yeah.
Double Mountain Giant. Okay. So this is starting to get a little interesting.
Especially since both these guys have very similar hands right now as
Yeah.
well.
Part of the reason why Handlock's so good is just the consistency. Something really funny. Well, he can't do anything on this turn because he coin tapped. And there's no point in actually doing anything. You can't just drop the owl, so you're going to seize over initiative to your opponent. And that's going to be an opportunity to drop your own Mountain Giant. And then your opponent can either remove it or trade. And then do your own. But then this is where it's like he doesn't have a second Mountain Giant, so. It used to be a Faceless Manipulator in this spot. You'd Faceless Manipulator the 8/8. Kill it.
And then trade. So then you'd be basically in the exact same position they were before. This is just basically a worse version of that.
Right. Do you think there is any merit to attacking the face there because you have Dark Bomb?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's very risky. Very risky. I guess it's not, well, it's not getting too close.
Well,
he would still been one turn away from like Siphon Soul or something like that, so.
Well, that's actually a pretty good draw because now he can play Mountain Giant, Dark Bomb, and kill off this other Mountain Giant.
Yeah. So then he has the Mountain Giant advantage.
Exactly. Well, basically he has the last Mountain Giant, period. Because this is the third Mountain Giant that's been out.
Yeah. I like to hold on to my Siphon Souls, especially in the mirror.
Because
later in the game, I think it's a lot more reliable of a removal, and being at lower health totals sort of messes up some timings from your opponent. Sometimes, a lot of times, the opponent handlock will plan ahead, and sometimes Siphon Soul can throw a wrench in their plans. And knowing that Siphon Souls are out of the way knowing that Siphon Souls are out of the way, or knowing that Siphon Souls are still in play, makes a big deal with how your opponent makes decisions.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So I would try and remove with what I can first before I use the Siphon Souls for later on. But I guess Weifu doesn't agree.
Well, he has 2 in hand.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. You don't have to be conservative with him if you know you have a second.
Oh gosh,
Whoa!
this feels so terrible.
Oh no! Oh wow.
Well, here's the thing. You need to start challenging the board. You have Hellfire, which doesn't really do much in this matchup anyways.
Yeah.
So Hellfire might as well just be a 3 damage, 4 mana spell.
Yep.
The second thing is, you have a full hand, so you can't even tap.
Yeah.
So if you're going to play a minion, you might as well be Defender because it's the most expensive.
That's true.
You can always slide in Sunfury Protector. It's not actually as absurd of a play the more you think about it.
Yeah.
It's just when you see it at face value, like you join in mid-game and you're like, oh, what happened?
But at the same time, like having a dead play in a mirror matchup is not that great. I guess Handlock has mechanics to let them come back, like Molten Giant, Shadow Flame, stuff like that, but still, it gives your opponent such huge initiative on the board.
Yeah, for sure.
You can just Dark
well,
Bomb
yeah,
this.
dark.
I mean,
does he need to?
well, what would you be playing around? Like Hellfire would clear off your Loatheb.
I like keeping the damage as a potential finisher. You have Hellfire and Dark Bomb as 6 damage burst.
Yeah, that's true. You could double Dark Bomb. 9 damage burst.
Does he have 2 Dark Bombs?
I did.
No, he only has 1. So he's got 6 damage burst from the hand.
Well, I meant like for later on.
Oh, okay.
I think he runs too. Oh man, this
yeah,
is.
I'd have to imagine so. This is not an easy spot to be in. You actually can't deal with the Mountain Giant straight up, so you have to be defensive.
Yeah, and 16 health is such an awkward number to be at, especially on 7 mana, because you can't Mountain Giant it or do anything after.
Sure.
You can't. This is so awkward. Look at this. There's no way that he can fit his mana efficiently, and there's no play that really just screams, "Wow, that's a great play."
Well, I think he's dead. Because what happens is he's going to play defensive. He's going to taunt up this Drake.
Yeah.
He's going to get silenced, followed by Hellfire, followed by 13 damage to the face. Hellfire kills off the definitive Argus in the cleave effect.
Yeah, he's dead.
And that's just going to do it. Assuming Weifu sees this right now.
I'm sure he does.
Well, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
He could be fatigued and he's thinking about other things.
Yeah, that's very true. When you can, it's a blessing and a curse to be able to look at both boards. It's a blessing in the fact that you have all the information, but it's also a curse that you have to keep checking both hands instead of just your own.
That's right, that's right. So that's going to do it for Game 4, and we have a tied series. Very quickly escalating, handlock versus handlock, even though they both been called control variants of the Warlock at one point, but that's not necessarily true. They have like a mid-game ramp.
Yeah.
The best way that I was always told was that Life Tap is like wild growth. It's like accelerating your mana to like Mountain Giant. It's like it's a really cool way to think about it.
Yeah.
It's like that handlock's a ramp deck.
Yeah.
Because then you start playing big threats after big threats.
Yeah, and then your health is ramping backwards towards Molten Giants.
Right. Well, you utilize mana and health as opposed, or card count and health as opposed to mana as your primary resource to play these big threats.
That's a really cool way to think about that.
Yeah. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Who told you that?
I read it on a community forum post when it was a strategy thing where people are like talking about like what's a mid-range deck and what's a control deck and what's an aggro deck. Someone was like asking about terms and someone's like, yeah, well, like, you know, aggro is like zoo and handlock is like control, and someone's like, well, no, actually handlock's more of like a ramp, like a mid-range ramp deck.
And is zoo really aggro? Would you consider zoo to be an aggro deck?
It's generally pretty aggressive, but it's more of a board control.
Yeah.
So it's funny. Warlock has a very backwards way of playing this game, which is interesting in itself.
Well, their hero power is very unique compared to a lot of the other hero powers. So
I guess the way you can always say is zoo games are fast.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess that's what they call about aggro. But you know, Hunter for a while was not even considered that much aggro when they had like Savannah High mains. They were mid range.
Yeah.
It was just like, I hate losing to Hunter.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think the last matchup we should be able to see what that matchup is.
Warlock mirror.
Probably Warlock mirror. Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
Oh well, we'll see if we can bring up the versus plate in a second. But when we think about it, what else could these guys do? You said the warrior wouldn't be that bad, but there it is. Look at all those warlocks.
Well, it means Warlock will win 4 out of the 5 games in the series.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Which warlock will win? We'll have to see. The winner moves on and gets to play again tomorrow in the ESL Legendary Series match day. And the loser has to go down, and they're not out yet. They still have a chance to fight back and make it. But it's still they're gonna have to go in a long, grueling series, and
that's right.
Could be tough.
Yeah, so let's go into Game 5 and see who gets the first spot for tomorrow between Weifu and Grunwave. And both these guys want to win because they don't want to play one more series. They don't want to risk not getting through. But more importantly, it's like 6 a.m. for Weifu, so he needs to get this over with.
Yeah.
If he wants to get through.
He wants to win just so he can go to sleep. Not even so that he can play tomorrow, just so he can
get some rest for the next day.
Get some rest. So
well, it's been a long journey for both these guys coming in. Remember, if you guys wanted to play in the Cup, you guys can as well at every Sunday. We'll let you guys know more throughout the broadcast on how to sign up. But the game has started, so Let's look at each other's hands. Now, last game, it started off so quickly because both players had both Mountain Giants. But only one player does this time around, and I want to see how you play with resources, because when the game plays itself out with like, oh, well, I'm just going to play Mountain Giant and this and this on perfect curve, there's no other decision.
Yeah.
It's not as fun as when you get to see awkward situations of how people respond.
Yeah. A lot of times in hand lock, after like turn 4, turn 5, you see some really crazy situations with the boards. But a lot of the first couple turns are very telegraphed. They're going to life tap. They're going to life tap a lot.
Well, yeah, because they want to make the strongest minions possible. Oh, well, with 2 Drakes in hand, you can make a definitely can make a case for coining out the Drake here.
Yeah.
The alternative is to tap and coin out the Ancient Watcher. Or I guess to also just play Ancient Watcher and wait.
Okay.
But here's the nice thing. If you coin out a Twilight Drake, and he owls it in response... well, actually, I understand perfectly. If you coin out a Twilight Drake, it'll be a 4-8, and the Mountain Giant challenges it.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. This way, when you play the Drake, it's a 4-9.
Yeah. So you're forcing him to have like a Mortal Coil or something to be able to deal with it.
Right. Okay, I understand why now. That's too bad, though, because you fall behind an initiative. Going second in this matchup is definitely a large disadvantage.
Yeah, in any other matchup, I think that coin Twilight Drake into Twilight Drake would be great, but unless you're playing against like a Mill Druid who's running that Clockwork Giant.
Well, how do you follow this up, then?
Very weird turn. And it's gotten awkward already there, Frodan.
Hey, how about this? Is this too weird? If you power overwhelming your giant, kill off your opponent's Twilight Drake and silence it, it becomes an 8-8 again?
That's... Would it be an 8-8?
Yeah, because it'd be a 12-12.
Yeah, and then it dropped
goes
down.
to a 12-8-8.
Wow. That's cool. He's not going to do that, though.
I mean, it's power overwhelming, such a good burst.
Yeah. So he'd be using power overwhelming plus an owl to just be able to clear off a Twilight Drake cleanly. It's a pretty neat play, though, to think about, but...
Yeah, I just thought about being creative. I mean, he could be threatening to kill him next turn, too, if he's not careful. Like, that's how quickly these matchups can escalate.
Yeah, it's really volatile. Really volatile.
Well, Mortal Coil is like the ideal target here.
Yes.
See if he uses Defender Vargas or Owl or some...
You could coin
Shadow
in.
Flame.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's... you could throw in the Twilight Drake and then Shadow Flame.
Yeah, he clears the board.
Yeah. This seems a little bit slower, but I guess this is okay as well because you got a second 4-9 Twilight Drake. Again, it's going to be hard and awkward to deal with.
Oh, man.
Oh, slamming those Mountain Giants.
Here's a question, though. Do you want to attack in?
To face?
Do you want to? Do you hold off on the
12
attack?
damage.
He's also not tapping.
Well, this would be...
I'm also surprised he didn't tap here.
I wouldn't play that, actually. I wouldn't hit face.
Wow, this is so aggressive, and the Shadow Flame possibilities.
Yeah, he could Molten Giant Shadow Flame right now.
He has to.
Yeah. But that's, you know that your opponent's hand wasn't the greatest because of the sequence of his plays early on. So you know he was stuck on those Twilight Drakes, didn't have the Mountain Giants because of the way he played early on.
Yeah.
So you know that his hand probably is full of something, which is likely Molten Giants.
The one thing I am perplexed about is why didn't Grunwave tap last turn? He was 1 mana short, so he could have tapped and played the Mountain Giant.
Yeah.
And he would have been 1 card deeper. He's not at a health point where he's concerned.
Yeah, 22 health is still quite a bit. But now he's gone through both his Mountain Giants. And, I mean, he has Twilight Drake, but there's a silence here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now all of a sudden, Grunwave's on the back foot.
That's just how quickly that can turn with just each individual decision in the mirror matchup here. There's a risk that he took to go for that swing from the Mountain Giant to the face.
Yep.
And he got punished for it.
He doesn't have to silence this, though. I mean, most likely he will, but there's an opportunity for him to also play slightly more aggressive, like attack the face with this and taunt up his Ancient Watcher.
Yeah.
And set up for a way to kill by silencing his own Watcher.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, this is just different possibilities that you can explore, but you choose to go for a safe route.
Yep. Oh, this is a good clear. Power Overwhelming Shadow Flame.
Yeah, but man, that's just so many resources. You're dumping like almost half your hand to try and clear this, and you're getting initiative back.
Is that always the sound effect that Shadow Flame's made?
Yeah. Coin Jiraxis!
Well, he's been through one Mobile
Yeah,
Giant.
you can Mountain Giant here for sure.
Yes. Draws in the Dark Bomb as well, so he's got a little bit of burst damage here. No Power Overwhelming though. But he's still on the coin.
Yeah, so he's got Jiraxis Coin Hero Power.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most strong things you can ever do as hand lock.
With Jiraxis Coin Dark Bomb. Which could be a little bit of extra burst later on.
Oh
in the
yeah,
game.
6 damage from the hand.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, I think it's Jiraxis time.
This early? You think so? Well, I
don't
guess he's
see
at 10
anything-
health.
I don't think anything bad about it.
I mean, you can play it on Loatheb
Your
first.
hand is really good. And like, how did your opponent keep up with 6/6s?
Yeah, that's true. Because he's been through both Shadow Flames,
Right.
if I remember correctly.
It's like the safest time to do it too, because there's nothing that's going to threaten you. Even
Yeah.
if he owls
Yeah,
and hits you down to 11.
you'd still be healthier than you were
Right.
beforehand. You can delay a little bit by like going for a Loatheb or something like that.
He's
but
thinking about it, but I think it's time to Jiraxis.
it is time, Weifu. Don't even think about it. Follow your heart.
There's nothing wrong with it. If you play Loatheb and like taunt up, you're still in the same exact position as you would be before. And this time your opponent built up something, so you can't safely Jiraxis. This is the best time to do it for sure. Attack the face.
Yes.
Boom.
Okay, well, he's still got a lot of health to break through, but I'd say he's in a pretty good spot. And this is a little bit of a weird turn,
Right.
but because he's got double Molten Giant in his hand, he's not that close to being able to throw him down.
So I think the way you have to catch up here is to utilize the time you have between your Jiraxis and tap for cards.
Yeah.
Because Jiraxis will end up using 2 cards or so per turn to try and leverage the board, and you can get more resource advantage, pop to your Jiraxis, gain some health, and then finally have an opportunity to have the finishing blow. So this is how you catch up
Yeah.
if you're a Grunwave. But Weifu is in a pretty dominant spot. All he has to do is make sure to hero power every turn.
Yes.
That's the key to winning here.
And with both Shadow Flames gone, it's going to be really hard for him to be able to deal with those.
Yep.
And he's just going to slam them down every single turn. Unless Grunwave, with his creative deck building skills, teched in a Sacrificial Pact. Doubt
Wow,
so.
that'd be wild.
With the popularity of Warlocks,
That would
maybe.
be so wild.
That'd be a pretty good addition.
Yeah.
It'd be absolutely useless in every other matchup besides the Handlock Mirror. I guess it would get some use in Zoo, against Zoo,
Yeah, maybe.
but
3, 6, 12. Is that lethal? Oh my god. I think it might be. If you Hellfire, Shadow Flame. Is that enough? It's. I guess I don't think so.
no.
You had to Shadow Flame. Oh wait. What if you Shadow Flame?
You Watcher?
The Inferno. Nah. Yeah, it's probably too hard.
No.
Yeah, it was really close.
You're still gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Just to
but
clear
yeah.
the board, but. And now it's starting to get down to the wire here.
Yeah, Yeah, it's like we said, you know, it's the fact that Jiraxis will be using multiple cards per turn, and you just need to keep hero powering every single time.
Yeah. Sets up for pretty good lethal next turn, and there's some taunts here.
Yeah, you need a Lotheb and taunt up here. You need things to weaken up. Your hope is that Jiraxis weakens himself too. You have 6 points of burst yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not over by any means, but starting to get very tight. Because now your opponent can respond with Jiraxis.
Yeah. Hasn't drawn into
and
it
you
yet.
recombobulate the 6/6. Check this out. This is going to be amazing.
No.
What
is
are
he
you
going to get?
predicting? I'm calling a Boulder Fist Ogre here.
Karen.
Well, hold on. Let's see.
That's how boring my lifestyle is when I want a Karen out of a
Well, I call the
recombobulator.
vanilla. I call the vanilla thing. I
Boulder
want.
Fist Ogre is an exciting card.
I want Argent Commander. That'd be really cool.
That would be incredible. I don't know if he's going to recombobulate here, though. Actually,
What
why
about
not?
like a Rocketeer? Oh, he's getting a hero power instead. You
Yeah.
can still coin. Oh, you can't. Never mind. It's both that.
Yeah.
That stinks.
This board is pretty scary looking, though. Oh, no! So he hadn't gone through both Shadow Flames. I was actually wrong. He only went through one. Gets a little bit confusing when there's
Is that
double
it?
hand lock.
He can't
That's it.
deal with that one Infernal on the right.
That's rough.
If he Hellfired, he would have had a shot. But that's going to be it, and Weifu will be going on to Saturday's main event.
And
Well
he's
done.
going to get some much-deserved rest after this one. You can see that's one of the first smiles we've seen cross his face thus far today, and definitely a solid player. Looking forward to seeing him up against some big names tomorrow, trying to prove himself. Of course, to remind you guys, all the guys that you see today made it through that hundreds of player open bracket that happens every single Sunday that ESL runs, and that's tough work. Not only did he play all day Sunday, but he also has been playing pretty much all night tonight.
Well, that does it for the 4th series of the day, and we have our first out of 2 players that are through to Saturday. Let's take a look at the bracket to see where we currently sit at, to find out how far everything has gone through. Weifu has advanced, and then Frozen did beat out Shoop earlier, so that means that he'll be playing against
Grunwave.
Grunwave, and I believe that's a rematch from before, so this is going to be really cool to see. And that's going to be coming up in just a few minutes, guys. But before we do that, we want to thank our sponsors at Crucial and Western Digital for making this possible. You can check out all their stuff at esl.gg/Newegg Esports. When we return, more action here from the ESL Hearthstone Legendary Series. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back right after this.